kind of brings me to my next point. I find it kind of ironic because, like anybody's going to do, I did a little bit of research, and you guys pretty much at one point just trumped up CDs, right? And CDs are good for X number of reasons over vinyl. And actually, I was doing an interview with J.G. Thirlwell, right, Fetus, and he basically made the same argument, right? It's kind of like it's a larger amount of space to make music on, and it's just a completely different format. And he was really arguing for it.
Yes.
What I find interesting about that, though, is that you guys. Pretty much, you're one of the only bands that have never abandoned the vinyl format.
Well, the reason is because, like I said, we don't care what format people want to hear. If we can sell X amount of vinyl and it's cool, great, I don't care. Great. If we couldn't sell any vinyl, we wouldn't make it.
What I find interesting, though, I guess what I'm trying to hone in on...
I don't care about vinyl, I don't care about it one way or another. I don't care about the format. I don't care. What I care about is people buying it.
But what I'm kind of honing in on is the fact that, on the one hand, it's kind of like you've trumpeted the CD.
We like CDs fine.
Well, here, back to our mastering guy again.
Okay.
Who used to do stuff on vinyl. That's how he started for years.
Him and George Horn both.
Right. And these guys, CD was supposed to come on and sound way better because you have way more frequency width, If you have something with a lot of low end on it and a lot of high end on it, a cutting needle isn't going to be able to cut it because one goes this way and one goes this way. And you can't do the same thing
Correct.
at the same time. So they have to chop all those frequencies down.
Both ends.
CDs, vinyl.
On the other hand,
Sound quality. People say that it sounds better. No, it doesn't sound better. It just sounds different. You might like it. You like it this way.
There
you
you
like
go.
it this way.
Okay.
It's not better. And same thing with the 180 gram vinyl. The cutting needle is not going to cut a deeper groove. It's the same.
Can't.
Actually, you know what? That's a complete fallacy that 180 gram vinyl makes it sound better.
It doesn't.
The whole point of 180 gram vinyl is that it warps less.
Right.
That's what the point
When you
is.
drop it, it doesn't break.
There you go. That's really what the point is.
That was the point, yeah.
Other than that, it doesn't sound any better.
Look, if you have a really great stereo and a good turntable, records sound fine. They're fine. That's fine. No problem.
And I've seen
if you have a
guys that
shitty
have
stereo,
amazing huge setups with doing super nice power amps.
It sounds great.
The nicest turntable you can buy and stuff like that. Sure, it's going to sound great.
Sounds great.
You know what? Again.
But I don't really care.
It's pretty clear. We're going to wind up going right back to the MP3s, right?
MP3s are the cassette of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Cassettes, you used to have cassettes on record, you'd record your record, doesn't sound as good, but you're okay with that because of the convenience. Same thing with the MP3.
Absolutely. And the minute MP3 became more convenient than the CD just,
But MP3s to me sound like crap. But I'm okay. I'm willing to put some of the quality aside in order to have a large amount of music with me that doesn't sound quite as good. But if I want to hear something at home that sounds good, I don't listen to MP3s.
Okay, well, what do you listen to?
CDs.
You'll listen to CDs.
Yes, I do. I store my music on CD.
Matt Pike, right? Matt Pike was making the point, when it is that I mentioned Thirlwell, he was making exactly the point. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you're right. Okay, frequencies are like this, when it's vinyl, you got to cut them down and all the rest, but there's one thing, right? When you're talking about the experience of vinyl, see, analog is like chunks, whereas... digital is chunks, whereas analog is waves. And you do hear that. The experience, you definitely hear.
I would A-B that with you, and
how so?
You couldn't. I promise you, if you A-B that, you'd never know the difference.
Here's a good one. If you go online and type
if
you type in digital versus analog, there's a whole big
recording engineers doing this.
There's these guys. I can't remember the band, but they purposely recorded their record on Pro Tools and on tape. And then they had the band, and then they had these two guys that were
supposed to be bat-eared monster recording engineer guys.
And they're like, okay, we're going to do a test now. And you've got one hand, you've got digital
and then analog.
And like, okay, see if you can tell which is which. And they're both listening.
They're playing them. It's going back and forth.
Right. They've chopped up the song to where it's like part of it's digital
part's analog.
Back and forth. So,
one's off tape, one's off the computer.
So
you can't tell. It's seamless.
They tested the band and these guys who are like hotshot recording guys. And they were right 50% of the time.
So as much as you were guessing.
The band couldn't tell. And the engineers couldn't tell.
They couldn't tell
They think they can, but...
They can't. When it comes down to it, they
stuff
can't
now, and it's only going to get better to where you're not going to be able to tell it all.
I'm wondering then if you're saying,
Okay, well, how do you think we recorded our new record? Can you tell?
No.
It's analog.
Well, listen,
it's all analog.
It's all
Yeah, it's 40-inch tape right here.
It's It's a
Like I
really
said,
thick
from the very
discussion.
beginning, you have to understand, I don't care about the vehicle. All I care about is the results, and all I care about is people hearing it.
All right.
That's it. And look, you have to understand that another reason that we like vinyl and things like that is because I believe in this computer world, things are very impersonal now. Mm-hmm. And what people want, there's a small percentage of those people who want something in their hand. And so I want to go the extra mile and give them something tangible that you cannot download.
It's an artifact. Actually, if you'll...
So this is something tangible that you cannot download. Now, millions of people aren't going to want this now.
Well, you see,
but
the thing is...
are the where it makes it interesting.
Can I just make, to me, what's the ultimate argument, if I may? If you take a look at the cover, right, you're going to see that there's black around Ace Frehley's mouth. And if you take a look a little closer, okay, you'll see that there's trace marks. I got this thing when I was 5 years old.
Yeah. Look a little closer, you can tell that there's some residue there. Where
Dude, I was 5 years old. Now.
Hey, you were a hip kid.
No, but what I'm saying is like I can grab this thing and I know exactly what happened. I busted my parents' chops to pick it up, and it was in a record store, and my parents paid $5.99 just to get me to shut up. There's an entire story behind this.
Well, there's no argument.
There's no fucking story behind an MP3. There just isn't, man.
Right. But see, like I said, the most important thing is that people hear the music.
Sure.
Look, I don't want to be the die like the dinosaur dumbass. What I do is go forward. That's okay. That's fine with me. You know. The most important thing is that people hear it.
Well,
so we have to provide them a human experience. That's where live performances come in, and it's something that you can hold in your hand also, but then we also have it online. Mm-hmm. That's it.
When I buy new stuff,
I don't care about the rest of it.
I buy MP3s.
Our
That's
stuff,
only because I've got too much crap, and I don't want any more crap.
Right, and our stuff doesn't even go into stores.
Actually, this kind of brings me a little bit to the other point that I wanted to make. I want to talk about Randy Blythe a little bit, the Lamb of God guy, and not the fact that he nearly killed someone, whatever, none of that, okay?
We don't really know anything about that.
Okay, but before that, basically, he made a comment that I found pretty dumbass, okay? What it is that he did was...
First off, we don't know anything about that.
Okay, no, but basically the long and the short of it is that he was talking about how... Dope Show, what the hell's that name? Marilyn Manson. Yeah, Marilyn Manson, right? He was bemoaning the fact that Marilyn Manson sold only 38,000 copies of his record in the first week, and it's like, what a dumbass, man! This guy put out his record, he put out his record independently. He sold only 38,000. Fuck, look at us. We're Lamb of God. We have we belong to a major label, and we even managed to sell 10,000 more in our first week.
So?
Yeah, but I kind of found that weird because it's like, no, wait a second. A major label doesn't do this for free, right? And I mean, you guys have been on both sides of the fence, and I mean, it was pretty messy when you were on Atlantic, wasn't it?
No.
We like being on
What would you mean?
They dropped you.
But we expect them to drop us after the first record. They did 3.
We weren't surprised. We were surprised they were assigned to begin with.
It wasn't messy at all.
And I think we made some of our best records.
Everybody thought it would work except for us.
And they didn't meddle in any of our affairs.
You realize that I'm kind of hoping that I push buttons and these guys are just kind of going along with everything.
You have to understand, as long as you operate as if you're going to be out of business in 6 months, everything is fine.
You lived in a trailer park, didn't you, Buzz?
I've never been in a trailer. Operate like you're going to be out of business in 6 months, and you don't have these fancy ideas about things, turning into gold.
Well,
everything is good. If you have no expectations, then you cannot be disappointed.
And we came out of that whole experience fine. I mean, a lot of bands, after they got dropped from their major label deal and couldn't find another one, they spoke up.
Let's say you started, let's say Melvins started 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about then?
What?
Who knows?
Would we sign as a major?
No, not a question of that. Would you even be able to get out of the starting gate? You know
How
what?
many bands were able to then? You know, most bands never make it. Most bands never make the pot. The thing that kills bands faster than anything else is not making any money. It's very difficult to make money in the music industry. Well, here's the deal. If someone is willing, if I could sign a major label contract that we had right now, the same, I would sign it in a heartbeat. Why? Because it was a great deal. They give us money to make records. Is that a problem?
We get to record at A&M Records. One of
We
the
got to do
best
whatever we
studios in the
wanted.
world.
We returned in the records mastered with the covers finished. They couldn't tell us what to do, where to record, who to record with. They couldn't tell us anything. The one thing they didn't have to do is put the record out. But they had to pay us and they couldn't sit on us. What's the problem?
It was a good deal.
There's no problem.
That was
They
true.
gave us money to make records.
Nothing pisses
They
you
gave
guys off.
us money to make Melvins records, which is even better.
That's actually, yeah, real good.
Right. And we were on the same level as Aretha Franklin, the Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin. Right where we belong. And no one saw the irony in that more than us.
Right. Yep.
You know? What's the problem?